All right. A sweep.
They sweep the doubleheader. They look good.
Yes. I love an old-fashioned doubleheader, man. Not a makeup game, just a true doubleheader. And the Giants get it done. And man, oh man, does the pitching look good right now.
Pitching looks great.
The pitching is out of this world. So guys, welcome to NorCal Sports Network. And we appreciate you joining tonight. Giants win a doubleheader. And we're brought to you by Bora.
And Dan.
Bora and Dan. All right. Hey, guys, what a game. What a game. What a big game one. Blake Snell, 15 Ks out of his 18 putouts. 15. That's little league stuff.
That is like domination, high school level, Clayton Kershaw stuff. That was insane, and it was insane to watch. Just him raking the Rockies lineup. It was crazy.
Yeah, man, Blake Snell looks like, to me right now, the best pitcher in baseball. And wow, it would have been great to see some of this in the first half. Man, imagine if he wouldn't have held out for so long and had a full spring training. The Giants might be in the wild card position right now.
Yeah. I mean, he's looking like his Cy Young stuff, or his Cy Young self from last year. I didn't watch him too carefully last year. But I mean, he looks like the best pitcher in baseball. And when he's on that fastball curveball combination, that's the best two pitch combination in baseball. It's almost unhittable.
Yeah. Well, let's get into game one. We'll break each game down. Game one, Senior. Hey, hello, Senior out there in Boston, Beantown. What a game he got to see tonight in Boston, man. The Yankees, Red Sox go extras, and the Yankees win it 11-8, I think it was, 11-8, 11-9, something like that, something crazy. But the Yankees scored in the top of the ninth, I think, to tie it up. Trent
Grisham tied it up.
Yeah, I was watching that game. I was like, man, needed to save for Kenley from, but that's okay. Hey, let's look at game one. Giants win it 4-1. Blake Snell domination, 6 innings. How many hits was it? I don't have the box right in front of me. Was it one hit, 2 hits?
2 hits, I think. Yeah, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 15 strikeouts.
15 strikeouts. My goodness. And then, the bullpen blows it again for Snell. I mean, he had that perfect game through 7, basically, and the bullpen blew that one. They blow another one tonight. The guy hasn't been able to even get a win yet. And then as soon as they tie it up, the Rockies, the Giants go pull back ahead and win it 4-1. Duvall a little bit shaky in the ninth. Hits a batter and then a base hit, but no damage done after that. He gets out of the inning, gives up no runs, 4-1. They don't need him in the nightcap. But game one, the star, definitely Blake Snell,
100%.
And looking at the actual box score of the first game with who was the performers on the hitting side. Pull this up just 1 second here. There we go. All right. Really, nobody had more than 1 hit. They only had 6 hits as a team. Wait a minute. Chapman. I'm sorry. Chapman had 3, including a home run to put the Giants on the scoreboard. 1-0. So Chapman has a 3-hit game, goes 3 for 4, raises his average up to 237. So good game for Chapman.
I mean, Chapman looks like he's heating up right as the trade deadline's approaching.
What's interesting is, and we're going to get into this. We'll cover the first game, then the second game, and then I want to get into what the Giants should do. They've got an
who they should trade.
Yeah, who they should trade, and How about we'll do who they should trade, who will get traded, we think, and who won't.
Yeah.
What will Farhan do? So it was just domination by Snell, and then Walker gave up the one run, the home run in the top half of the seventh, and then ties it up. And unfortunately, the Snell couldn't get the win, but the Giants do get the win more importantly. And then we move on to game 2 and Hayden Birdsong, man. What can you say about this kid? I don't know if he's
legit. His stuff is legit. His composure on the mound is legit. You can tell he's a competitor on the mound. And he's only 22 years old. I think they might have struck gold with him. I think he has a higher ceiling than Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison's been that number 1 pitching prospect throughout the minor leagues. And we're just getting our first glimpse at Birdsong, but I mean his fastball is legit. His curveball is legit. All 4 of his pitches are pretty much legit. He was a little wild today.
He only went 5 and his pitch count got to him.
Yeah, but I mean, he was still able to compete. He battled. He walked 3, struck out 8. He didn't have his A+ stuff, but his B stuff was still able to carry him to a win and to not allow any runs.
He threw 106 pitches, and his best pitch of the night was number 106. He was throwing 97, 98. I think it was it who was up at the plate? Was it Blackman? I think it was Blackman.
It was Blackman.
And he threw him an 89 mile per hour changeup. Filthy. Just left him just sitting there holding the bat in his hand because he was thinking either that hanging curve that drops that 12-6 curve, or he's thinking fastball and he throws him a changeup.
Yeah,
beautiful call by Casale on that.
It was I think it was a 3-2 count too, right?
It was a 3-2, and I think if he walked him, he was done.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah,
because that was a pitch 106. Melvin was gonna, and you know what? That is awesome because the guy got rewarded. And he got the victory, man. That would have sucked if he would have had to come out because of the pitch count.
And then he wouldn't have
more out.
Exactly. All 3 of the Giants pitchers this series, Harrison, Snell, and Birdsong, have all gone past the 100 pitch mark.
Right, so they're striking out guys like crazy. How many strikeouts are we looking at? How many did Harrison have? 11 or 12?
I think he had 11.
Okay, so 50 and 11, that's 26 plus 8 for Birdsong. 34 strikeouts for 3 guys. That's an average of just over 11. It's like 11.33 per pitcher. Wow.
In 27 innings.
That's just beautiful. Now, the question becomes let's get to the hitting stars of the game. For the Giants, it was Wisely, 2 for 3, had a nice, I think he had a nice double left center, didn't he? Yeah, pretty sure that was. And then he had the hit to the third base where he hit it down the line and was able to beat it out. And Soler's hitting the ball hard. He went 3 hits, raised his average to 235, and Ramos got the 1 hit and got the RBI with the little flare, the blooper that the infield was in on. So
and then Fitzgerald with the home run.
That's right, Fitzgerald with the home run. And if you guys saw our short that we put out, was it a short or no? A little video. Little video is Tyler Fitzgerald, Barry Bonds, better than Barry Bonds. Now. Pretty funny we put that out. I was just watching a little bit of the post-game show with Sean Jelly on NBC Sports Bay Area, and Jelly was saying, Fitzgerald's getting comparisons to Bonds. I love it. I love it. Our little video may be going viral, huh?
Gaining traction on the internet.
Yeah, I know Sean Jelly does. I've been in the clubhouse. And he does sit there on his phone quite a bit during before practices in the morning. So he is sitting there looking or doing crossword puzzles on the newspaper. So maybe social media, who knows? Maybe we had a little impact on there. I don't know.
Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. So now the important thing here is the Giants do win the 2 games. They're still, though, 4.5 games out of the wild card. They still have to climb over a few teams. Let's just take a quick peek at the standings after today's doubleheader victory. And we'll go to the standings here. Let's go to the wild card. All right. See, we got it right there. Braves and Padres pretty much tied. The Mets half right behind them, and then the Diamondbacks half game behind them. Cardinals are starting to fade recently. They've lost 3 in a row. Pirates have lost 2 in a row. Giants have won 3 in a row. Giants have won 3 in a row and have only gained, a game?
Mm-hmm. And they've won 3 in a row against the Rockies, who are the worst road team in the league.
Yeah, the Rockies are pathetic.
So,
guys.
I mean,
look at the record.
You just lost 3 out of 4 to the Dodgers on the road. You also lost 2 out of 3 to the Rockies, the same team on the road. So, I mean, you kind of you needed to do this. It wasn't just, it's not about selling or buying. You needed to beat the Rockies, and you've done that so far. But, I mean, beating the Rockies 3 times, and even if you sweep them tomorrow, that shouldn't affect what you do at the deadline. You should still be selling. You should still be trying to get prospects and young pieces for your older vets.
But it will affect, don't you think?
It will.
It will, because Farhan.
Yep.
Will Farhan learn from 2022 when he did not sell Carlos Rodon? He waited, thinking the Giants had a shot to take it with this team. Now, the only thing I would say is if Farhan made a couple of deals and didn't have to give up a Luciano or a Matos, if you had to give up a Matos and you got somebody that had a little control that was a proven major leaguer, I can maybe see it, but no rentals. Let's not trade any youngsters for rentals. I was kind of thinking that if they just split these 4 games, it would make it simple for the Giants to sell. But if they win tomorrow, they're 53-55. I brought up on this show in 1987, the Giants were 53-55. I was 26 years old at the time, and they're 53-55. They just swept the 4-game home series. Hey Matt, how you doing? And they just swept the Cincinnati Reds, who at the time were in the National League West. The Giants were in second place, trailed the Reds by like 4 or 5 games going into the series. They sweep Cincinnati. They go on this crazy run, and they would only lose like 16 or 17 games the rest of the year while winning like 37. They went like 37-16 to finish like 90-72. It was either 90-72 or 91-71. Someone could look that up. 1987 Giants. I remember it so clearly. I'm really good with numbers. I've been in numbers all my life, and that's what I do for a living, help people, their finances. So numbers. I'm a numbers guy. So my memory is really good with numbers, and I remember statistics as a kid of players. But 53-55 if they win tomorrow. Now, does this team, the question, they don't have to win 90 games, but if they win tomorrow and go 53-55, that would leave them, that's 108 games, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 162 minus 108 is 46, right? 162 minus 108. No, 54. I'm sorry. Okay. 54. They would be at 53 wins. Can they go 32-22?
No, I don't think so.
To get to 85 wins.
Look at their September schedule. They play the Diamondbacks at home. They play the Padres on the road. They play Milwaukee at home. They play the Padres at home. Then they go to Baltimore, then Kansas City, then Arizona, and they finish it out here versus the Cardinals. So I mean that's a pretty tough schedule against, and all those teams are going to be in the playoff hunt. It's not like a cakewalk schedule where you're playing the Athletics and the Rockies all the time.
Right now they're beating remember who they're beating. They won 3 in a row. They've beaten the worst team, one of the worst teams in baseball, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Rockies and the White Sox and Marlins, 3 worst teams. Now, I say that, and I say I agree. I don't think they can go 32 and 22 in their final 44 to get to, well, wait a minute. I'm already counting that as a win tomorrow, right? 53 and 55. Yeah, so I'm counting that as a win, saying they have 54 games left.
Who's pitching tomorrow?
Is it Hicks? I don't know. He's in line.
I think it might be Hicks.
I
heard somewhere it's Hicks tomorrow, then he goes to the bullpen.
Yeah, because it's okay. Hicks. That's going to be a tough game for them to win because I think he's wiped out. I really do.
I think so. He's just overtired. He's done well in his role so far, but it's time to go to the bullpen.
Let me give you an argument for how they can win 85 games.
Okay.
I don't think they do. I think they finish anywhere between 77 and 80. That's kind of what I think.
It's the likely outcome.
Yeah. But let's say they win tomorrow. They're 53 and 55. They win 32 more games out of their final 54, get to 85 wins. That would put them at 85 and 77. How do they get there? Well, they get there by what you're seeing the last few games with dominating pitching, and some hits. Now they've had a struggle getting timely hits, but and this is best case scenario. I don't see it happening, but Snell pitches like he's pitching. Birdsong, I don't know if you can get this much out of Birdsong because of the innings. I think limited to.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to finish the year on the active roster.
Yeah, I don't think so. So now it's like, okay, you got Ray, Snell, and Webb and Harrison, those 4. Now you got to get something out of Cobb. Can they go and win? What is that? 32 and 22. 32 divided by 54, 59, 592. So can they win 3 out of every 5? That's what they need to do. They would have to win 3 out of 5. So every 5 starts, you'd have to get 3 really good starts.
It's possible.
It's possible. That's the possibility because Snell is dominating. Ray looks like he could be pretty dominant if he finds the rhythm. And then you get – now, how would that look? If Ray and Snell dominate and Cobb comes back, Farhan could look like a genius.
He could. I mean, that's what they've been playing for. They've been playing.
That was the blueprint.
Yeah, that was the blueprint. They've been playing for the second half of the season. They wanted Snell to be healthy. They wanted Ray to come back and be healthy. They wanted Cobb to come back and be healthy. And they wanted all these guys to contribute. The problem is they needed the offense to sort of carry the load while these guys were gone and out. And it hasn't done that. I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle. They might have dug themselves in a hole too large to come out of.
I mean, pull up their playoff odds under Fangraphs. It's probably after today and last night. Remember, it was 12.9%. I'm going to say it's like 17.5%. I say they went up
17.2. Right on the money.
Okay. All right. So there, we'll see where it goes.
I mean, there's definitely a blueprint for them to. There's a line that you can see for them to be successful and to make the playoffs or to win 85 games. We don't know if that'll get in,
85 should get, well, you never know. It could take 86.
Exactly. And that's the problem while it's just really tough to see that happening because everything has to go right. And there's a lot of the times not everything goes right. You need a little bit of magic. I mean, it's just
now,
I don't know. I can't see it.
Would you say if they actually buy and trade valuable assets that Farhan's job is on the line, he must feel that he has to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would definitely show you that there's pressure to make the playoffs. And that he's sort of at the same time, it would also show you that he's giving up on some of his prospects that you want to develop. So it's a little bit of both. I definitely think though he has to be under some pressure, right? Just even now, whatever he does, he has to be under some pressure to make the playoffs. I mean, you're hearing it on social media, you're hearing it on YouTube, you're hearing it from this channel. We've been saying it for 2 years. You're starting to hear it from like the local radio channels more and more.
Monta, Jasky.
Exactly. KMBR is saying it. So I think he's definitely under pressure. But at the same time, it's like, why wasn't he under pressure the last 2 years? It's just, it doesn't make sense. And they didn't do anything with him. So there's a little bit to say that he has some job security as well.
Yep. Mike S says, Mets just traded for Winker, so don't think they're trading for Conforto anymore. Same. George says the same thing here. Now, as Farhan, we know he's passive. He waits and waits and waits and waits. It's his personality. He's not changing. A tiger doesn't change his stripes. The guy waits and waits and waits. Probably could have moved Conforto. Now we'll see what's going to happen. Here's who I think they should deal, Laura. I think they should deal Conforto and or Yaz. And Yaz, or one of the two has to go. I would trade them both. Right now,
if you had to pick one, who would you trade?
I'd trade Yaz because he's got more value. He's going to give you something in return because you can tender him and he still has one more year of control. He's actually playing a little bit better. He's a better fielder. Why would you bring him back for next year? He's not part of the future. He's going to be 34 in August. So he turns 35 next year. Conforto, he's going to walk, but if he walks, you at least get a draft pick if he goes free agent.
I think so. Yeah. At the same time, though, looking at the other side of that equation, if you're trying to win right now, right, and if you're trying to make a push for the playoffs, I would say Yaz is the better option over.
If you're trying to win, to win, but they just need to sell. They got to learn sell high. Stop the. And I'm not saying Yaz is that valuable but he's got more value.
He's an all-around player. He's an all-around player who plays pretty much every day. And I mean, he's been playing every day the past week or so. And he's proven that he can hit against lefties right now, at least. He's proven that in the past. I think Yaz definitely has more value. The problem is, how much value does he have? We know it's a seller's market right now, but how much value does a 34-year-old outfielder have who's had injury histories in the past?
Wouldn't it be somebody who went back to the Orioles? They don't. They got too many left-handed bats anyway. Their outfield. They're full of left-handed bats. Isn't Cowser a left-handed bat?
I think so. I'm not certain.
100% sure. I'll have to look up Cowser. Somebody look up. I've always thought Colton Cowser was a lefty, but I know Heston Kjerstad is, and then Santander's a switch hitter. But Yaz came from the O's organization. But here's who they should trade. Are they going to do this? I don't think so. We'll get to who we think they'll trade. I would trade in the infield. I would trade going around the infield. I'd trade Wade. I'd trade Estrada, and I'd trade Chapman. Those three guys I would move, and I'd get pieces for them. In the outfield, I would move Conforto, Yaz, and then I think you got to move Blake Snell. at this point because he's going to walk at the end of the year and you're going to get nothing. And right now he's got to be one of the hottest commodities out there.
I mean, if you're a team that's in the market for a starting pitcher and you're just browsing the teams and saying, what do I want? You want Blake Snell. After today's outing especially, I mean, 6 innings, 15 strikeouts.
He just pitched almost a perfect game a week or two ago.
That's almost unheard of. And
thank you, Mark Graves.
He's proven that he's a second half pitcher. So there, in all likelihood, he's going to continue this stretch of being dominant throughout the second half. He's showing no signs of slowing down. I think the smart move is to trade him because a bunch of people are saying, oh, he's not going to get as much value because he's a rental. That may be true, but it's a seller's market. And some teams are in desperate need of starting pitching. And those teams want to go all in for a World Series, like the Orioles.
Right.
Maybe the Yankees. Who knows? Maybe even the Dodgers. You probably wouldn't want to make a trade with the Dodgers. But I mean, I'm just spitballing here. Some teams want dominant starting pitching. I mean, that's what Blake Snell is. He's a dominant starting pitcher. He's a number one. He's a true ace. And I think you could get a decent prospect for him. If you can't get something for him by himself, package him with someone else. Like package him with a Doval to go to the Orioles. You can get creative with this. Or if you don't want to sell him, extend him. Do something out of the box. Extend him for 2 to 3 more years. So you have more control over him and you have an actual dominant starting rotation for the future years. I mean, could you imagine a starting rotation next year, Dan, of Webb, Snell, Ray, Birdsong, and Harrison?
I know.
On paper, that's the best starting rotation in the league.
Yep. Let's get to Tyler. Tyler, wise guy, donates $10. Thank you, Tyler. Says, did you guys hear JT Snow on KMBR say, I think there's a lot of pressure now and through this offseason on Greg Johnson, Larry Baer, and Farhan. Those guys got to answer some questions. I did not hear that. Thank you for bringing that up, Tyler. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pressure on these guys. They have to answer questions. You can't – who can take what Farhan has done to this team? Seriously. He's destroyed this organization. And the stench, as I mentioned, comes down into the clubhouse, I think, just because this guy he's got so much control over the entire operation. And it just, I don't know. It just
He's a micromanager. He's a micromanager of everything. And he has full autonomy. He has full control over everything. And what have we seen for the past 5.5 years? It hasn't worked out. So I don't think you can just keep on playing this game of going 81 and 81, or take a few games and just be happy and expect the fans to be happy. Because the fans are passionate. The fans want to win. They want to root for a winning team. They don't want to root for this middling team.
Yes, and here's the thing. What I think would be if I was running the show, which I'm not, and I never will. I wish it was a lifelong dream to run a baseball club. It really was. As a little kid, I thought, man, I could do what these guys do. Mm-hmm. I could do it. I think if I really had gotten a lucky break, because that's really probably what it takes to get in. You get to know somebody, and somebody knows you, and you get in
connections. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I could have done it because I followed baseball since I was like 6. I've been passionate about baseball all my life, and I just have watched every stinking game, read every news story, every box score as a kid, reading the Oakland Tribune and the Sporting Green. We didn't have back in the 70s. We didn't have the internet, anything like that. So you had to actually open an old-fashioned newspaper. And I used to study not just the Giants, but all of baseball. And this is what I would do, honestly. I would be working with Scott Boras right now saying we want to re-sign Snell, extend him. Right now he's signed for this year and next year for another 30 million next year or whatever it
38, I think 38.
I think it's only like 32. It was 62 million for 2 years.
Okay. So, whatever it is, it's north of 30.
Yeah. So what I would do is I would try to extend Snell for 2 to 3 more years. And, if I got to add 100 million on top of the 30 million he's due next year and add 2 more, I want Snell for next year plus 2 more years.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can somehow get that deal done, I would also be working the back channels of trading Logan Webb, like I talked about, to Baltimore for that Kobe Mayo, Heston Kjerstad, and Connor Norby, something like that gives me 3 players that I can plug in and play. Now I got my first baseman, I got a second baseman, and now I got an outfielder. And now I've got excess outfielder. I would have Matos, Ramos, Lee, and Kjerstad. Now I might be able to move one of those 4 and package now. And I would also trade Chapman, see what I could get for Chapman. And I would go with Casey Schmidt because Chapman's going to walk. I think. I do think.
I think so. I think he's putting up a valuable enough season in the WAR. A lot of teams value WAR. He's putting up a valuable season
and that's what he wants. He wants
exactly.
To walk. He wants to walk, and there's no reason he couldn't come back and re-sign with the Giants if they had a kind of a hush-hush type deal. Hey, we're going to trade you, but we want you back, and we'll give you, we'll sign you for 3 years when you come back for $23 million a year, whatever.
I think the 4 main players that you should be looking to trade right now are Conforto, Yaz, Chapman, and Snell. I think those are the 4 guys.
How about Conforto, Yaz,
Chapman, and Snell?
How about Soler? He's starting to heat up.
Yeah, I mean, you have him for another 2 years though after this.
Right, but that's value. You might get something back for him, maybe to a team that needs that bat.
I kind of like Soler though. I kind of like him. I like his. I don't know what it is about him. You have him for another 2 years. You can't trade everybody.
Sure you can.
I mean,
he strikes out too much.
I kind of like Soler. I like him in that leadoff spot. It obviously takes some pressure off of him. I would keep him. But I think the 4. Some people are saying Estrada. I don't think Estrada can get you enough to trade him and get any valuable asset.
Yeah, you're not gonna get a whole lot there.
I think he's value. I think he's lost his starting role.
To Wisely,
yeah. You can
and
let him
Luciano coming up.
You can let him be a backup shortstop, second baseman, and just be a defensive replacement.
Let me ask George Clooney here. George Kearney. It's okay if I call you George Clooney, George. George, it's almost George Curry. George, are you sure Chapman is coming back? You say for sure. How do you know? He stated his goal at the beginning of the season was to bet on himself and opt out. Because what is his WAR? It's one of the higher WARs, right? Isn't his WAR like I think it's 5, 4 or 5?
He's the highest WAR on the team. I know that. It's 4.1. There's different WARs though. I'm using Baseball Reference WAR. There's like F WAR. There's B WAR. There's a bunch of different WARs, but he's valuable in that aspect. So I mean, and teams use that. Teams utilize that. So you can get something for Chapman. I mean, especially if someone like the Yankees, who need to make a push.
Hey, if you can would you trade Chapman and Snell to the Yankees for, say, Jason Dominguez, and what else could you get back for that? You know what? Let's play with the calculator.
Are we going to play with the baseball trade values?
Yeah, let's see that. It's coming up. All right, let's see if we could get what we could get from the Yankees. And while I'm looking this up, see what's in the chat if there's anything that we need to address there. All right, so the Giants are going to. I wonder what this thing's probably not updated enough to have Blake Snell. Oh, what did I tell you guys? Let me show you something.
What, Logan Webb?
Yeah, what did I tell you? What was the value the other day? 88?
88, yep.
Take a look, guys. 82 now. Telling you, if he keeps having his value, buy low, sell high, guys. Look at Harrison's went up a little.
Well, now that let's go back to Conforto real quick. Now that the Mets have signed Winker.
Oh, look at Birdsong. Remember he was around 8 the other day?
Yep.
He's 12. And this is probably not even after tonight's outing. I'm guessing. I don't know if they updated it that quickly.
I think by the end of the year, Birdsong will be in like the 25-30 range.
Yeah, Birdsong's good.
Birdsong's really good, and he's 22.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we can get here. I don't know what the value is for Snell. What was it the other day? Like 1 or something?
It's not great anyway, just because of the contract and how he's pitched up to this point.
I mean, it's got to be a little bit better just because of these games he's pitching. But yeah, too much negative. Wow, Jung-Hoo Lee minus 95. Oh my gosh! Wow. Yeah, that means if you traded him, you'd have to eat the contract.
Go to the positions. You can edit the positions.
Okay, what am I doing here? Positions.
Blake Snell.
Pitchers. Starting pitching. Where's Blake Snell?
0.5 right there.
0.5. Okay.
0.4, 0.5.
Availability very low. I think that's. Who knows?
That's not legit. He's very available, and teams would want him.
Yeah, I think he's available. Let's see what Jason Dominguez is. A 30. He's 21-year-old outfielder. Who knows? I don't know. The trade things. I don't even really read the trade stuff, to be honest with you, because there's so many people that put rumors out there. Nothing ever happens. The stuff that I propose, not going to happen. It's very few trades that get proposed by people for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks actually materialize the way it's proposed. Teams are going to make deals, but the aggressive teams, the Dodgers are going to make a deal. You know it. The Dodgers didn't spend all this money to go for it this year.
Dodgers are going to make a deal. Padres will probably make a deal. The D-backs have already made a deal. I mean, the Cardinals are probably going to make a deal. A lot of the NL Central teams are going to make a deal, I think. We've already seen the Mets make a deal. The Braves are probably going to make a deal. The Phillies have made deals already. Everybody's making deals. You're kind of missing it right now.
Yeah. Well, this is what Farhan does. He's going to wait. Yep. And I'm telling you, he's not going to come up with anything. I'll bet you Farhan doesn't make a deal till Tuesday.
Okay, and that brings us to who will the Giants trade?
Who will the Giants trade? I think they trade Conforto. And I could see them maybe trading Wade. If they've got
Wade's kind of fallen off a cliff the past ever since he's gotten back from the IL. His second halves overall haven't been great. The problem with Wade is he just doesn't supply you any power. And you kind of need that from a first baseman, because on this team you really don't have anybody else who hits a lot of home runs. They're leading. I saw this graphic on Twitter today. It was like teams their leading home runs numbers. It was the Dodgers had 32 or whatever Ohtani has. The Giants were at the bottom of the list. They're leading, I think it's Ramos with 15. They were the worst in the league. So I mean, yeah, he has 3 home runs and 19 RBIs. That's
you're not. They don't have much value. They really don't. Your greatest value is in Webb and Snell
and Chapman, I think.
Chapman could, if they could somehow do a renegotiation of Chapman's contract in the deal. Whoever, remember last year, Max Scherzer was going to trigger some, like he wouldn't opt out.
Oh yeah, the
like
no trade clause or something.
Yeah, whatever it was, that he would be back with the Rangers this year, and they had to work that out. And he did that. Jeff Taylor says, how did they not evaluate Birdsong's talent properly? Well,
I think they kind of have evaluated his talent properly. If you're wondering about his like prospect rankings and everything, that's not the Giants. That's just baseball being kind of lazy. Like that's why you're seeing a lot of these prospects being traded for this trade deadline. Like Arozarena wasn't traded for any top 10 prospects, even though if you look at those prospects individually, they've been raking in the minors this year. So a lot of it isn't that the teams are not evaluating them properly. It's just the baseball like prospect rankings pages get kind of lazy, and they don't thoroughly go for it. I mean, they're going to have the first and second rounders higher than the lower rounder guys. That's how they start out. I mean, Birdsong was like a 4th rounder, right?
I think something like that.
Yeah. So his value wasn't high immediately. He had to climb up. And I think the Giants have actually managed his time pretty well in terms of innings. Like it wasn't like last year when you had Harrison come up and Harrison's pitch max was like 60 pitches and then it went to 75 and then it was 90. When Birdsong first came up, I think he was throwing like 75 to 80 pitches. So he was throwing the ball. I think they've evaluated his talent pretty well.
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's going to go up, his value from trade values and everything of that nature. But hey, Jeff, thank you for the donation. Yes, Vita for life. I said the same thing. Trade with Baltimore. They have tons of talent in their system. Now, Duvall's also got some value. That's a guy that might get dealt.
He could get dealt because he also has control.
Right.
And who needs a closer? The Orioles need a closer.
Phillies just added to their bullpen today and got Estevez from the Angels.
So he's their closer. I don't know any other teams that need a closer. Really, I know the Orioles need a closer, and now Estevez just is off the board. I don't know if Mason Miller's still going to get dealt.
I don't know.
He's on the IL, but I mean, it's his left pinky.
Yeah, I mean,
so that's his glove. Just put some tape over it.
Come on, pinky's right here.
Put some tape over it, and
come on. When you throw the ball back to the mound, catch it in the pocket. I guess you got to squeeze the pinky a little bit, but roll it out there.
Right.
Roll it back, bend over, pick it up with your right hand, and throw the ball.
See, Farhan should be on the phones right now looking.
I like that name, Farshawn. Yeah.
He should be on the phones right now, actively wanting to get rid of his players and just seeing what the market is. I mean, maybe he's doing that now. You don't know.
He is on the phones. He's looking for a guy like Bowman. Hey, Bowman, you got Bowman? You got a Hill out there?
Derek Hill.
You got a Bowman or a Hill out there? Okay. So, yeah. Anyway. Well, guys, we don't know what Farhan's going to end up doing. Probably not much. That if you asked me, is he going to be super active? I think he makes. Here's what I think he does. I think it's similar to the 19 season. You watch what he did. In 19, he made a couple of trades that were Like he got Dubon, he traded Melanson, he got back, and then he got somebody. He traded Sam Dyson, and he got so and so for this. I think he makes 3 or 4 mid-level tier to bottom level.
He's going to play the same game he's been playing.
That doesn't alter anything. It doesn't improve the team a lot. It doesn't downgrade it much. It's just there's not going to be like, okay, we're trading guys and we're getting some studs back for the future.
No, I don't think so. Even though you could, because it's a seller's market. It's a complete seller's market. I think what's going to end up happening is I think the most likely player that the Giants are going to trade is Michael Conforto. Just because you're not going to be getting much for him, but it's just someone off the books that's not part of the future. I saw a report on Twitter earlier this week, I think, saying they would like to give Luis Matos a little more time just to see how he does. I think that's the most likely scenario. Maybe they get a bullpen piece. Maybe they give away a bullpen piece. Maybe they give away a Luke Jackson to the Braves. It's not. I don't think it's going to be something big. Again, it's going to be small trades. It's not going to be a blockbuster trade. Do not expect a blockbuster trade. I don't think it's going to be a trade that involves multiple players. I think it's going to be a 1-for-1 kind of deal. Don't expect much. Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I did hear Blake Snell. They interviewed him about the trade stuff, and he says, if we keep winning, he goes, I don't think I'm going anywhere.
Mm-hmm. See, I would love this playing the Rockies. You're playing them at the worst time possible. So I mean, you're going to beat the Rockies at home. I think that's fairly obvious. The Giants are pretty good at home anyway. If they could play a playoff team, like if they could play the Padres or the D-backs or the Cardinals right now, you would get a little more situated on how they would stack up against those teams. The Rockies are one of the 3 worst teams in the league. Don't expect much from them. I mean, you just lost 2 out of 3 in cores. You just lost 2 out of 3 to the Rockies, and you just lost 3 out of 4 to the Dodgers. How many times have we seen this season? Just this season, where they lose a couple games, their attitude is low, they're just down, and then they go on some like 3-4 game winning streak against some mid team, and that gets their attitudes all right, and they're pumped up. I mean, it's just going to keep on being this up and down swing because it's a streaky team. That's what it is. It's a streaky team. Matt Chapman's a streaky player. A bunch of their players are just super streaky, and it's a streaky team. It's pretty much it. And I mean, they might make the playoffs, they might not. I'm gonna bet they're not gonna make the playoffs. But I mean, they're gonna be hovering around that 500 mark for the majority of the year. Like they're not gonna. You've said this before, Dan. They're not gonna dip 10 games under 500. They're not gonna dip 10 games over 500.
Exactly. So I said pretty much kind of like around the 5-6 mark. Mm-hmm. You know, they're just up and down. So,
and it's just that's what it's gonna continue to do unless you actually do something bold. If you can trade even if you trade a Matos and a Luciano for a controllable big bat, like if you can find a way to get Luis Robert or some caliber player of his, I might be for that, just because you're going for it. Right. You're making a big splash. I am sick and tired of seeing these transaction waiver wire moves that don't have an impact, it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't affect any team chemistry. It doesn't even win you any games. It's just to play the game, and I'm sick of it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Totally 100% agree.
What are you watching?
Hold on, I'm just checking something. I got to text something.
while you do that, everybody in the chat, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button.
Yes.
We're on TikTok now and Instagram. It's NorCal Sports Network. So check us out there. We've put out a couple videos on TikTok. Help us grow. We're putting out videos pretty much every day, 10 to 20-minute videos. We're also doing the YouTube Shorts consistently. So help us grow this channel.
Absolutely. So guys, this is going to be a interesting 48 to 72 hours. The trade deadline, I believe, is 4 Eastern on, is it 4 Eastern on Tuesday, the 30th?
It's Tuesday.
I know it's somebody look that up, because when I have to look things up, I have to kind of get distracted.
It's Tuesday, 6 ET.
So 3 o'clock our time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Giants play at 6:45 Tuesday night. So tomorrow's it. Tomorrow's record, that's where you stand before the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
With an off day Monday. Mike says Tuesday at 1 p.m. trade deadline. What are you saying? 6?
I'm seeing 6. It might be 1. I don't know. It's Tuesday though, and they're not going to. They're not after this Rockies game. They're not going to play another game until that.
Yeah,
game.
I thought it was 4 Eastern, but maybe, which would make it 1 o'clock here. But we'll see. I'm trying to get. In fact, hold on. I've got to text somebody, because I'm trying to get this set up for the show tomorrow, and I don't have an answer back. So hold on.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. We're also
I can actually talk, but I'm just, yeah.
I forgot to mention we're also on Spotify and Apple Music if you want to listen to the playlist there. Fossey, my last name is pronounced Imakolu. The G is silent. There you go.
I'm a cool dude.
I'm a cool dude. I'm cool, yeah. I'm gonna call you.
Okay. I'm going to text you this too, Bora, so you can look that up. All right. So hold on. Right. Just you carry on while I mute myself.
Well, now you got me interested with this text. All right. Let's just recap Birdsong a little bit. 5 innings, 8 strikeouts, 3 walks. I'm just going to say again, he was a little wild. He didn't have his best stuff. But overall, his stuff carried him, though. He used that fastball, curveball, slider, changeup combination a lot. And I think it's a good thing having Curt Casali, the veteran, catch him. The trade, that was actually a pretty good trade or pickup by Farhan, to be able to pick up Curt Casali, because he is a great locker room presence. I think he's best friends with Mike Yastrzemski, something like that. He's a really good catcher. He's a really good defensive catcher. He brings some energy and spark. And if you noticed, I forget what inning it was, but Birdsong had just thrown like 6 consecutive balls, and he was on the verge of walking the bases loaded, I think. That might have been the 5th inning, his last inning. Curt Casali came out to the mound. He settled Birdsong down, and Birdsong went out there and just threw fastballs right down the middle. He said, "Hit this pitch. My pitches are better than you. I can strike you out." And he dominated. So I think Curt Casali is a very good locker room presence on this team. And if the inevitable happens where they, how do I say this? If they continue to play this game of just going 500, I'll say it again. They're just going to continue to go 500. It's just, Curt Casali isn't going to have much of a role on this team. I think they stay with Curt Casali when Murphy comes back. I don't know if Murphy's going to even come back for the rest of the year. I don't.
Yeah, what is the deal with Murphy. I heard he was going to be back by sometime around now.
Is he on the 60?
Yeah, he's been on the 60 for a while.
Would you agree that they would just continue to play with Kirk Casale?
Yeah, I mean Murphy has the better bat, but Casale's a better catcher.
And they have the younger pitchers like Harrison and Birdsong.
Right.
So
yeah. So yeah, and Hiroku makes a good point. There's no way they make a trade to add to salary.
That's why I think Conforto is the best option, because you can seemingly dump that salary, but I think if you want something in return, you're going to have to pay some.
Well, that's about $6 million. That's about $6 million, and then you owe Blake Snell, what, $13 million, roughly.
Mm-hmm.
So 12, 13 million. They may want to get rid of all that. I don't know what they're going to do, but this is what the Giants do. Every year with Farhan, there's, except for 21, where it was obvious a buy situation. 2019 was this, they got hot right before the trade deadline, and then they decided to kind of do a little bit of a sell, but they didn't trade Bumgarner. They didn't trade a couple other guys they could have traded, and they pretty much kept it close to the vest. 22, they didn't trade Rodon. They didn't do anything. Last year, they didn't do anything. They
didn't trade Flores or Cobb, like we were saying.
Yep. I believe Farhan will do the same doggone thing. I think he does the same thing. They just sit there and he does very little. He's probably paranoid to make the wrong move. He's, it just,
he doesn't go bold. He just doesn't go bold. No. He doesn't go for it.
Yeah. Matthew Murphy is the guy they dumped Joey Bart for. Yep.
And how much did they pay Murphy?
$8 million for 2 years. They got him for next year too.
Mm-hmm.
So you just basically, some of his moves, he constantly does moves that, like, I think his best move, like he screwed up the Haniger and DeSclafani, but then he actually getting Robbie Ray for both those guys was a good move.
That was a good move. That saved his ass, kind of.
Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what Robbie Ray does. Is Robbie Ray going to be able to be consistent? He looked good. Arm looked healthy. I was surprised that he was able to get the curveball, throw that, because that's the most difficult ball after Tommy John. Fastball usually, a lot of times the fastball is even better. So we'll see where it goes.
Alive, you're completely correct. It's a false positive against one of the 3 worst teams in the league at home.
Yeah, at home. It is. I think you need to. I think you had to have had a, draw a line in the sand after the road trip and say, where are we going to be? And if we go 4-3, we wait and see how we do against the Rockies. And if we win, we're in a buyer's mode. If we are less than, if we come back 2-5 or less, it's sell. And
that's what they did. They went 2-5.
Yeah. I think 4-3 is like wait and see. 3-4 kind of a wait and see. But 2-5, forget it. Now you just you showed up. You did that against the Rockies and the Dodgers on the road. And like you said, Bora, look at the schedule in September, all those tough road games.
Against playoff teams.
Right. Every team they face in September is either in the playoffs, right, if the playoffs were today, or within 1 or 2 games, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What's the schedule? Let's take a look.
Arizona for 3 at home. And
and Arizona's what, a half game out?
Yep. San Diego for 3 in San Diego.
They're in.
Milwaukee for 3 at home.
They're in.
San Diego for 3 at home.
They're in.
Baltimore for 3 on the road.
They are in for sure.
Kansas City for 3 on the road.
And Kansas City right now is in. They are the third wild card.
Arizona for 3 on the road.
They are a half game out.
St. Louis for 3 at home.
And St. Louis is 2 games out. So it's not going to be an easy schedule. And don't forget the end of August, you've got Seattle on the road and Milwaukee on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And you have Atlanta. Oh, in the beginning of August, you got Cincinnati for 3 and Washington for 4. Even though Washington's below them and Cincinnati's just slightly below them, the Reds are a half game behind them and the Nationals are 2 behind the Giants. You're still on the road where you have played. What's your record on the road? 21-33.
And then you come home and play Detroit for 3 and Atlanta for 4.
Right. And by the way, guys, Atlanta, what do we got for Atlanta, Bora?
4.
Yeah, and what do we got? We got some tickets for
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Guys, take a look at this. If you haven't already done this, time's running out. We are at NorCal Sports Network involved in a fundraiser with GoFundMe for a little boy named Elijah, who his mother passed away. I'm not sure how old this young boy is. I think he's like 10 or younger, something like that. And he lost his mom, then his dog. He lost his dog. And this young boy, we're trying to help him navigate a new normal. His father, who, the mother, they weren't married, but they were going to be getting married, but they didn't have any life insurance. So GoFundMe is trying to raise $10,000. This fundraiser was a friend, I believe, of Vince Russo, who's a friend of the show. And we got this idea of a raffle, buying a square for $15 for a chance to win 4 front row seats donated by our own Lou Marston from the channel. Look at those 4 seats right there where the red arrow is next to the Giants dugout. Seat number 1 is actually, you lean against that dugout, the concrete there. So there you go with the seats. You get to go on the field before the game with batting practice. And that's pretty cool. I actually saw some pictures tonight from Senior, who's in our chat right now in Boston. His son, let me see if I got it right here. I can pull this up. It's pretty cool if you get down to the game before the actual game starts, guys. You want to see something pretty cool? Look at this photo here. Go ahead and take that square off for a second. Look at that photo right there. That's Senior's son, Charlie. Look who that is at the Yankees. Can you tell who that is?
No.
It's J.D. Davis with the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
See that bat? Look at that bat. Check this out. Hold on here. I got to find it. Where did it go? There it is. See the bat?
Mm-hmm.
That's J.D. Davis' bat right there. J.D. Davis gave Senior's kid a bat. That's pretty cool. So put the squares back up, guys, and we want to sell some squares tonight. So what you got to do, if you want 4 seats, the opportunity for 4 seats, and you're donating to a good cause. If you don't win, think of it this way. Your $15 that you put in is, you can, well, I don't know if it's tax deductible if you're paying it to us, because we're going to send it in to GoFundMe, but we're just collecting the money so that we know who can get the squares. You've got about 40 squares left. All you have to do is email me at norcalsportsnetwork@gmail.com. Want to put that up, that email there, Bora?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, norcalsportsnetwork@gmail.com. Email me. Tell me you want some squares, and I'll email you my Venmo, and you can Venmo me the $15. And if you want 2, it's 30. You want 4, it's 65 for 75. You can get up to 5 squares. Let's get this thing going. We're going to do the drawing here, hopefully within 10 days. We'd like to give somebody enough opportunity to have, a plan to go to the game. So go ahead and do that. And that would be really cool. And look at this. Senior said, look at these batting gloves right there.
It's not.
Oh, it moved on me. Look at that. You know whose batting gloves those are?
Rafaela.
Yeah, Rafaela. How'd you know?
It's in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what does it say, Rafaela? Yeah, they were. There's the batting gloves. That's pretty cool. Look at the stadium there. It's empty. See,
Mm-hmm.
You get in early before the game, you get some perks like that. So buy some tickets, guys. Buy some squares. Do we have anybody that wants to buy some squares here? Let's check my email. Or you can put it in the chat that you're going to be sending me an email. Okay. Let's see. Hey, that's pretty cool. I'll have to show you that later. Hey, Yamamoto, if you're out there, I just checked the email. Thank you for that. I wished I would have seen that, man. I would have put that out there. But if you got any more ideas for Tuesday night, send it our way. Thank you, Yamamoto. I'll respond there. Okay. All right, I'll get that later. So anybody want squares, go ahead and put it in the chat that you're going to be emailing, and I'll look for the email. $15, and we will get that squared away for you, no pun intended. Stop. I said that. No squares. Give you a square. So, but guys, it's been tomorrow. I'm still working on this. I'm trying to set up a dual show tomorrow, and I have not been able to get a response back, but I am trying to set up a dual show tomorrow at 1:30 with Ned Coletti and Larry Kruger. I'm trying to get Larry, and I haven't got a response back from Larry yet. So I've had contact with Ned. Be on the lookout. Hopefully Ned will be able to join us at 1:30 tomorrow. I need a big crowd. If I don't get Larry's audience over here, I got to get my crew, and I got to have a lot of people. I know it's during the Giants game, but we'll be more entertaining than the Giants. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're playing the Rockies. You want to hear? I've got some great questions for Ned. Like, how about this for a question? Ned, when you were a GM and this time of year, are you on the phone making stop calls to people? And what kind of responses are you getting back when you propose something? Is it anything like fantasy baseball when I'm trying to hammer guys? Hey, we get some managers in fantasy baseball. We go back and forth for sometimes days.
Mm-hmm.
I want Ned. I want to hear what it's like when Ned was doing trades. Does he make a lot of calls? Does he call back 3 or 4 times and say, I got to get an answer, or I'm going to make another move to go in another direction? Do you bluff people? Do you, those are the kind of things I think people want to hear. What is it like at this time of the year? do you have multiple scenarios going? If this one doesn't work out, you got to go to the next move. Yeah, Val, I know 1:30 is a weird time. It's the only time Ned has available, and that's all I can say. It's based on Ned's schedule, not mine. I would prefer to do it early in the evening or late after the game in the afternoon, but Ned just doesn't have any time available but that. So that's why it would be 1:30. So, hey, guys, squares wise, how many people do you want a square? Or are you are you interested in getting a square for the $15? Is it the cost that's too much, or is it just no interest in the tickets? Is it what? Tell us what it is in the chat. We don't know exactly what we could do a poll, but there could be more than we're limited to like 3 or 4 answers in a poll. So just let us know. Hold on, I just heard from Larry. Okay, so Larry's not available. We'll see if we can get Ned still. All right. So tell us what it is with the squares. Is it? Maitland Eagle says it's a scam. Now, I hope you're not saying this, the squares are a scam. There's no scam in trying to help a young family. This is it the $15? Is it no interest in the tickets? Is it you just don't want to participate? Would it be better if it was $10 a square? Let us know. We really want to fill out the 100 squares and get the drawing done and then see who wins it. Greg Dayton says no one wants to watch the Giants, but we will donate. Yeah, if you guys, hey, throw out a square, man. $15 is more. Okay, Ben says it's more than fair. Yeah, if you guys haven't got a square, I don't want to sound like I'm Jerry Lewis on a telethon here and trying to, just keep selling this thing. But I do want to get as many squares sold as possible because somebody's going to win the tickets, whether we sell them all out or not. But it would be nice. The last available number should go for $5. Well, once we get down there, who knows? So let us know. By the way, guys, I'm going to confirm this in the morning. I'm going to confirm this in the morning with Ned if we can do 1:30, and I will find out if we are. We'll put out a thumbnail early, like 9-10 in the morning. Okay, we'll put out a thumbnail for a show tomorrow at 1:30. If we can't get it done, then we will do our post-game show early tomorrow night. Okay. And then we may try to do a show on Tuesday. I don't know if Bora will be available or anyone. It is a work day, but we might try and do a trade deadline show. We'll see, just to see how things are going.
Mm-hmm.
So, guys, we are about 40 squares left. Mark Graves says yes. Yeah, Greg, how it works is one square. If you get, let's see, I don't know why I thought one seat equals one share since 4 different winners. No, you get one winner for 4 seats. One winner for 4 seats. Or what we could do, depending on how it goes, we might be able to pick 2 winners for 2 seats each.
Who knows?
We'll talk to Lou about that. See if depends. It's kind of cool if for 4, if you got a family of 4, it's pretty cool. So So Val says, okay, 40. So try selling them for $10. I've had some thoughts about that since we're getting down there to the wire of reducing it to $10 just to get them sold. So we will see. But let me know, guys. Email me, NorCalSportsNetwork@gmail.com, and then I will go ahead and email you my Venmo number, and then we'll go from there. So we're going to wrap it up here for the night. It's 11 o'clock. I want to thank you guys for joining NorCal Sports Network. Please join us tomorrow. It looks like I said, I'll let you know early. Check your YouTube. We'll put out a thumbnail if we're going to have Ned on at 1:30. Got to confirm that with him in the morning. If it's a go, we'll put it out early. If not, we'll come on after the Giants game in the evening like we always do, early evening, 8-ish, Sunday night, 8:30, and then we will go from there. So you guys, thank you again for joining. Let's see. Senior says you can't do that unless you're going to give the ones who bought at 15 more squares. Yeah, we could do that. We could give the people 15 more squares. I just want to sell them out. We thought we'd limit it to 5 because you know what, guys? Anyone who's bought 5, you can buy more. I'm just going to open it up right now. Anybody who's bought 5, if the others aren't biting, the fish aren't biting, you know what? We'll just throw out a little more bait for the fish who are biting, and you can buy more. So you can buy up. I'm making a corporate decision right now. You can buy up to 10. So you can buy 5 more. In fact, seats aren't going. Should we just drop them to 10, Bora?
Don't do it yet. We'll talk about that.
All right, but you can buy more at 15 right now. You can buy up to 10. So those who have bought already 5, you want to buy 5 more, go right ahead. We'll take care of it. We'll get you set up. So we want to thank you guys for joining the show. It has been great having you guys. We appreciate all the work you guys put in for us, just showing up. We have enjoyed being with you guys. Been great. Any final thoughts, Bora?
No. Trade deadline's coming up. Giants have won 3 in a row, and their pitching has carried them. So let's see if the offense can get rolling a little bit.
Yeah, offense definitely needs to get going, especially with runners in scoring position.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see tomorrow. Giants go for the sweep. Senior says he bought 3 at 45. If he drops it to 10, he wants 1 more. Okay, we will figure that one out. We'll have a board meeting and we'll get it done, but we will figure that out. We got to get we got a Ramos video. We got to make a Fitzgerald video.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Fitzgerald is a stud right now. Hey, Giants are going to have 2 players of the week. He's a lock.
He's pretty much. Yeah.
Cold stone lock for player of the week. How many home runs this week? 7
or 8.
Something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, it's got to be Tyler Fitzgerald, player of the week. So we'll add him to the kids, or we'll make a separate one. We've got a Ramos one. We've got the kids one. What do we want to go out with, Ramos or the kids?
Ramos.
All right, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Be looking for that thumbnail. We'll see if it's at 1:30 with Ned Coletti or if it's tomorrow night. Who knows? If it's with Ned Coletti, we'll be doing both. We're definitely coming back tomorrow night, okay, guys, for Giants postgame. Mark that one down. Giants postgame tomorrow night, Sunday night, 8:30. Okay, 8:30 Sunday night, but also special possibility at 1:30 tomorrow with Ned Coletti. Till then, we will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.